Underdog Daily with the Badge Bros, John and just John today. Nez is away on vacation for this week, but fear not, I will be here all week. I'll be here all week. This will be fun. We're going to do baseball today, talk about a little bit of the dinger sweat going on, draft some teams, do some pick'ems, 10-game MLB slate. Love to see it. 30K prize pool there. We'll be doing that. Yes, this was the big news this morning. Mitch alluding to the fact that Aaron Judge is presumably back this evening. He's got a Q tag. He had an ADP of 30 on the slate. So if you were in there early and often, you were probably jamming that. Guys, let me know if there's any little lag or anything like that. For whatever reason, I'm getting this little Wi-Fi thing of doom on the StreamYard, which I was not getting on the previous stream. Bizarre. Don't usually have issues with this, but let me know in the chat, please and thank you. But obviously peak dinger season right now. 2 weeks of postseason going on for us. Hopefully you guys had some beautiful advance rates. We'll check out my teams. I have not looked yet. Not a surprise here, guys, that I was saving it for the stream here. So we'll get that we'll get that in real time. We'll get my reaction in real time to that, and then we'll walk through the 10-game slate. Also, to note, tomorrow's show will be 1 hour earlier. Hayden Winks is going to join us. We're going to talk some football there, and then I will do baseball, Florida Membies only, a little bit of a shorter slate tomorrow, so we'll do that right after. And then on Thursday, primarily a football show. We got 3 preseason games. Talk through that a little bit in the pick'em lobbies, and then we'll draft some best ball stuff. And then Friday will be a pre-record from Thursday night. We're going away for our anniversary this weekend on Friday, so I'll record it Thursday night, drop it for the Membies only on Friday. So members only are still going to get 2 streams. Non-members are still going to get 3 streams for everybody, and then hopefully a Solver Series 107 on Saturday as well. So tons of stuff going on. Very excited for that. I was away smelling the roses this weekend. As you guys know, we were away for anniversary part 1 with friends and family, that sort of thing. Played a bunch of golf this weekend. Some great sites and cool courses. Really enjoyed myself there. So I don't have a ton of winners to shout out, but I will shout out the winners from Friday, the ones that got helped by the show on Friday there. And we'll start with our guy Brendo. He won I guess it was Thursday's show. Sorry. He won the After Dark slate with some of the home run pick'em recommendations, sent some love our way there. So shout out to our guy Brendo there. And then our guy Mitch, who already was participating in the chat right there. Shout out to Mitch, sent me a nice message alongside this. He used the 3-man Colorado stack from the stream and took down the slate. So he went ahead, Hunter Brown on there, 3-man Colorado stack, and then just Bobby Witt, one of the best players in baseball, and then Trent Grisham, who had a decent matchup there. The left-handedness advantage against Junk was on Thursday's slate there. So those are the only winners I got from over the weekend to shout out there. I was going through, second in the fastball Friday over the weekend. Nice. Well done there. Helps the NFL bankroll. Absolutely. That's what we're here for. I want to start with Dinger. So the Dinger, the frozen rope, the solo shot, the bullpen, all those good things. We are now in peak MLB sweat season. I wanted to reiterate 2 things. I threw a tweet out about it. There is no more humbling experience than seeing a best ball contest in real time, go full circle, come to completion, and realize how hard these games are, And I have some macro thoughts about Dinger season just in general that we'll get to here. But I just think it's really important for everybody to keep thinking about what's taking place in baseball right now and implement that into your football process, right? Me and specifically, I cut out a huge portion of the decision tree wrongfully by being so low on Cal Raleigh. I love Cal Raleigh. I'm a Mariners guy. I just look at the park. I looked at the playoff matchups. I looked at the lineup at the start of the season, not forecasting that they would be, big deadline additive players. And I kind of X'd out wrongly a portion of the decision tree. Okay. And I just want that to leave as a lesson for when we're going into our playoff and BBM lobbies there, that like there are blind spots in all of us right now. There are biases in our portfolio. It's part of how we play. I'm not trying to tell you guys, hey, draft 8% of everybody and hope to print. I'm more saying be open to the conversation associated with, any player takes or any understanding or any further learning as we keep going here. So yeah, anyways, shout out to my guy Mitch who's in the chat, and my guy Brendo is in the chat as well there for Friday slate. And then I want to go ahead and shout out James. I saw this one and I was thoroughly impressed. And this is what kind of started jogging my mind here. And he's advancing 66 of his 150 dingers there. 9 of his, what was frozen rope? 15 or 20 max entry. And then 1 of his solo shots advancing here. He has 88 total drafts advancing into the best ball finals here. An amazing achievement, but also one that is hyper exploitative. So I said to him, this must have meant you had an exploitative Kyle Raleigh stance. And I just wanted to share this with everybody. This is the power of an exploitative stance. Now, will this materialize itself in the postseason? Is this the power of one isolated player? It's truly shocking to me. That someone was sharp enough to build an entire portfolio that had 72% Cal Raleigh. That's amazing. Congratulations to you. I would never poo-poo on that concept, that idea. That is a risk tolerance exercise. You were right. Pound your chest, pound your table. Right? That's awesome to see. The other thing I just want to add to it, though, is what does the entirety of this portfolio look like, right? How different can these teams truly be? How will this play in a postseason contest? Because if Cal Raleigh goes, 2 for 25 this next 2-week span here, well, sayonara, right? So just things to think through, things I'm just putting out into the universe to talk through when we're just looking at it through a macro lens. But I was most shocked in looking at this, the power that one isolated player could have. Now, is Cal Raleigh having a phenomenal first round caliber talent season in terms of total points scored, and you got him in the whatever. Well, I can't even remember what his ADP was, like 110, 120-ish. You got him in like the 7th through 10th round, something like this. That's amazing, right? Like that's phenomenal. I personally had no idea that in a baseball contest, given how large the player pool is, how many entries there are, that one isolated player could have this dramatic an effect. And now he is one of like the greatest outliers. Like this could be like the greatest outlier of all time, that we get a MVP who was drafted in like the 10th round or whatever, right? Like maybe this is the Puka of our game. Maybe this is the Kyron Williams of our game, that we don't ever see this again. But I just found it very interesting because I personally did not think a portfolio could be so smashed by just like one isolated player. Like I didn't think one player could have this big an impact. Now he definitely got the early pitcher in Skeens and Garrett Crochet correct, because you guys could see he was densely correlated around those two. The Yu Darvish Singer was good, but not amazing, or is been good and not amazing. Yu Darvish has been, good since he's been back from the IL, but he was a 0 for the long portion of the year. Yamamoto and Cease were kind of returning their value. The nicest thing you could say is they've been healthy the majority of the year. Snell's been kind of a 0. Clay Holmes was a great scroll the F down who turned into a pretty decent pick, but he's been bad of late. So interesting to note that early pitcher coupled with Cal Raleigh could have such a dramatic effect. Like just, it doesn't really matter who the rest of his players on the rosters were. because those could carry the weight so heavily. And I just found that shocking that, with 20 players on a given roster, that, you just literally needed to get three things right. And he nailed them and got them right. And it's 66% advancement. Very interested to see how this plays out. Best of luck to James. I just thought it was really, really cool and wanted to shout it out, but also wanted to just think through what's going on here. And I don't want to gnaw wave the fact that he did hit on Andy Pages and Joe Adell as late round targets. And then Sedone Rafaela has had a really underrated and underappreciated year as well. So he did nail a lot of things, not just the Cal Raleigh, but it was more like, I can't believe that a portfolio like this could just be, it could be so dominant when I just see like one glaring thing. That was just, yeah. This is kind of what I'm getting at, T-Bird. Yeah, it's not just one player, of course not. But yeah, it's very strong, very cool stuff. Go ahead and check out Sweating Dingers here. Pull up some weekly scores just to talk through, exactly what we were just talking through in terms of, who were some of the highest scoring players during the Dinger season there. Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge performing exactly as anticipated. Kind of shocking that, let me do it via player total scores. There we go. Judge and Ohtani, Schwarber, Cal Raleigh was, this massive, he put up first round value from a 150, exactly what we were alluding to there. Pete Crow Armstrong, a guy I was low key out on that just smashed in a big way, has a legit case for NL MVP, though, MVP votes, let's call it, not necessarily, winning MVP. Rafi Devers being up here, I found very shocking, just because we've been poo-pooing on Rafi Devers for a long time now. James Wood has really fallen off the last month or so. Our guy Jay Hay had some really good tweets about that, the Nugget Chef, kind of alarming there. Randy Rosarina in that kind of outfield dead zone, smashed in a big way, and he was probably tethered to a lot of Cal Raleigh teams as well, so that one's a good one. Eugenio Suarez and Perdomo basically not drafted at all and performing as a top 20 player is just wild to see. Jackson Churio is on the IL now and going to miss at least a month, so that's a really tough run out for the Churio drafters who got that one, somewhat right there. Kyle Stowers, like a guy who was like completely undrafted, who is low-key having one of the best seasons by a Marlin ever. Like, no hyperbole. Having one of the best seasons by a Marlin ever. Yandy Diaz, just a projection darling who always gets disrespected in our contest and then outperforms it. Junior Caminaro, we chased him all the way up the board into the 60s there. Anyways, just kind of looking at some of the macro here. Zach Neto was one where, he was probably a top 80 to top 100 style pick. And he went 2020 the previous year. And we just got a huge discount because he was injured in spring training. And we didn't know if he was going to be ready to start the year. And then he smashes in a big way. So that one's pretty cool. Just a lot of these very different than football. And I think it's good to go back and look at this. People laughed at me when I was drafting Hunter Goodman as part of my Rockies stacks as too far a scroll, that sort of stuff. Aranda, I should have been more open to drafting Aranda and mixing and matching instead of Christopher Morel. That probably would have done me well. So anyways, we'll take a look at mine, but I just wanted to look at some of, the most important players, the highest advance rate players. We could stretch the sample size here. Just do min ownership 25 or something just to see the advance rates. Highest advance rate players being Cal Raleigh, Kyle Schwarber, Pete Crow Armstrong, Taylor Ward, Eugenio Suarez. So just a lot of those guys that we were pointing out, Christopher Sanchez, Merrill Kelly. Just a serviceable big league right-handed arm at the back end there that wasn't that different than Zach Gallen on paper going 180 picks later. Um, yeah, you'll just see a lot of healthy arms and, some of these big outliers. So cool stuff. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at mine right now. We could see it in real time all together. Live best ball MLB. There you go. We advanced 22 out of 150 dingers. So, not great. Okay. With the wild cards, that's probably below expectation. And then we advanced our solo shot. Didn't do a ton of frozen ropes because I was very hell bent on finishing my dingers and making sure I got 150 in. It was a goal of mine. But yeah, we can take a look at the solo shot here. Yamamoto, Gallon, Freed, Sanga, Gore, who ended up being a really nice pick for people. Brandon Fott, I was so fucking wrong about. Chris Bubich is done for the year, so that's unfortunate. O'Neill Cruz, Jose Altuve, Vinny P, Brandon Lau, Christopher Morel, Zach Neto, who's a great pick, Will Smith, who aged greatly, Shohei Ohtani with Ronald Acuna. That's a shame because we pushed through a Ronald Acuna share. That could have been awesome for us, but he's obviously on the IL now and not going to factor. We got a Brian Reynolds stack in here, Dylan Cruz, who sucks and is still hurt. Ready for a rehab assignment. There's some good news. Jason Dominguez. Yeah. So not much excitement to be there. We take a look at the exposure. Not surprising that my highest owned player, even though he's only had a very medium year, is, also my highest owned in the playoffs here. So we're cheering for the tool shed. Unfortunate he didn't get traded at the deadline. But in terms of our pitching, Luis Castillo, Gavin Williams, Hunter Brown, Robbie Ray, Framber Valdez, Bryce Miller. This Jackson Chobe percentage is really unfortunate. Mackenzie Gore, not bad. Nathan Evaldi's mixed in there. He's low-key been phenomenal this year when he hasn't been hurt. Seager, Abrams, a low-owned Max Muncy, a little bit of Cal Raleigh. We got some Vlad at Coors, so that's kind of fun. And then outfield, a little more condensed. Mike Trout, Tatis, Luis Robert Jr. So just kind of like a lot of my isolated stands. Yeah, it only takes one. Thank you. Yeah. Felt the disappointment in the Brandon Fott shout. Yeah, I really, really hoped the strikeout rate would improve this season, and it just did not. He's been very, very hittable. So that's pretty bad. Yeah, pitch saying, Acuna injury's been rough for him as well. Jets only did 5 dingers last year, but plans for more active next year. Absolutely, man. Such a fun contest. Such an enjoyable contest on the site. So let me just go ahead and do that. That's it. Best of luck to everybody. I got 23 live teams total. Hopefully you have more than me. Hopefully you have some unique pieces going forward. I know Sweating Dingers is going to be constantly updating, and you're going to be able to check, some of your advance rate stuff. Check out some of your check out some of your advance rate stuff, and check out some of your pods relative to ownership. So that'll be really cool. I did want to shout out, obviously, Sweating Dingers and Tristan, everything he does there, but the Dinger advancement rate leaderboard here. Big shout out to Andrew Football, who is apparently a baseball guy, advancing 98 out of 150, the high mark by any player. We could take a look at what he did in terms of exposures there. 80% Taj Bradley, 74% Tommy Edmonds, Nick Pavetta, a huge stand on Kyle Schwarber, which aged beautifully. Wow. Not a ton of Cal Raleigh. That's shocking. Let's see how much Cal Raleigh he had. Wow. I type in Cal Raleigh and you can't even find it. Wow. Holy smokes. Guys, I'm mind blown. He he advanced to teams. 98 teams. And Crossdress Life saying they're all 866s and had no Cal Raleigh. 0% Cal Raleigh. 98 advancing teams. Wow, my mind's blown right now. Yes, this is unreal. Holy smokes. Wow. Guy BJ's got a couple through, 2 through, missed the last one by 18 points. Damn, bro. Josh Bradley clearly carried. Nice. Wow. Wild. Wild stuff. A huge stance on James Wood and Kyle Schwarber. Nick Pavetta's been good. Wow, my mind's blown. I'm going to have to do a little bit more of a deep dive on this because I'm seeing it for the first time. But I just wanted to give some love. Wow, that's very cool. Shout out Andrew Football. Yeah, this game is truly a mind fuck, guys. Truly a mind fuck. Purple Yosh, 21 out of 105. That's great. Better than me, man. That's great. All right, guys, let's move over to the beautiful Unabated and let's do a game-by-game breakdown here. Give some macro thoughts on the slate. First and foremost, the Aaron Judge Q tag. He was available super late in this morning and last night's draft. Let me go over and see if that has corrected itself yet. I mean, not a great park. Yeah, he's up to ADP 27. The sentiment from Aaron Boone was that he'd be ready to play on Tuesday, and he so much as said so. And then, yeah, maybe he's playing tonight. I think he's playing. It sounds like he's playing. His manager has said he's playing. So it feels like a good pick. And on a 10-game slate, getting Aaron Judge, even though he's facing Nathan Eovaldi, tough matchup, bad home run park, as we've discussed. Globe Life is playing way, way down in terms of power this year. It's still Aaron Judge for free in the second to last round or the last round. And maybe not 100% drafted. So just be mindful. If you are going to be doing swaps later and he happens to be in the rankings, make him your number one swap. Get him for free. It'd be silly not to, that sort of thing. He will project as such. So just go about that. I don't think there's any reason to go gal-braining, contrarian leverage if you can get a free Aaron Judge in your life for swaps. And then if he doesn't play, you're going to have an abundance of swap options to get to because it's a 10-game slate, and we have the late games on the slate here. Shout out to Underdog for going with the full-fledged slate on a Tuesday, something we've talked about where Wednesday and Thursday slates are going to be a little stale. They're going to be smaller, so why not give us this big, huge one on Tuesday? Love what they've done there. I think it's very sharp. Okay, let's jump over to the game-by-game and just walk through whether to be concerned about and or to not be concerned about. Let's first talk about Atlanta. Roth has given it the dreaded yellow-orange, but it sounds like some scattered showers. It sounds like classic hot rain in Atlanta, in parentheses, what we call it around here, where it could be a late start and then play. It gets me a little more skittish on the pitching side of the equation than the hitting side of the equation. Never say never that, models can change and there be a rain out, but I think this one should play, and I do prefer the bats on the Brewers side. Obviously, Atlanta without Austin Riley and without Ronald Acuna really waters down that lineup, and that lineup has not been good for some time now. This does feel like a decent spot to get to the Brewers, especially right-handed Brewers. And even though Jackson Chourio is not there, but like Perkins is pushed up in the rankings today. Isaac Collins is pushed up a little bit. Feels like a decent spot for those two. The other weather spot that is of note is at Wrigley, where, as Roth puts it, every mile per hour of wind counts. It is only a 7.5 total there with Shota Imanaga going on the Cubs side. They're keeping that total somewhat down. But he does have a little bit of a home run issue. He's he's a little bit of a bang or bust type guy. He's a little bit Dylan Cease in terms of like how he performs, right? But yes, I I think you're fine to play pitching in that one, even though it is a bump to the bats with the wind blowing ever so slightly out. It isn't like a pound the table Wrigley wind game, and that's reflected in the 7.5 total. All right, no minor league ballparks on the slate today, so that's of note. So we don't have Sutter Health, we don't have Steinbrenner there. We also do not have Yankee Stadium. We do not have Great American Small Park. So what does that mean? It means Coors Field and the Coors Field chalk is screaming through the roof, and it goes every single draft, and it's magnified because they scored 16 runs yesterday. 15 runs, 16 runs yesterday. Bo Bichette has been incredible for the last month and a half. He tied the Toronto hits record in consecutive ABs. So that was with 9 there. That was earlier this month. He had a career high 6 RBIs last night. He had 2 home runs. Coors Field is propped up in a big way because it's 91 degrees and the home runs are slowly starting to creep back up there. They are still the only ballpark without the 5 home run game, and they are still the ballpark that is lagging behind a little bit in the home run department relative to run scoring. But as the weather gets better and as that Rockies bullpen has got so much shittier, this is just a classic. Everyone's trying to jam Coors slate, but everybody's only jamming the Toronto side right now. I don't think Jose Barrios is anything to be crazy scared about, but yeah, I think it's just interesting to note that everybody is jamming basically only the Toronto side. I will say that last night there's a very small fraction of teams. If you are on slot stacking Toronto, it is going to be a car park night. It's going to be a Seedmeister night. It's going to be maybe a me night. I don't know. I did 5 of them, I guess, last night at midnight when the slate was dropping. And all the Toronto bats, including Vlad Guerrero, were like south of 28 in ADP. They were just not projecting very well on the initial projections for whatever reason. So there are some combos of, Vlad and Bo Bichette and, onslaught stacks that include like 1 through 5 that are probably not going to be available now. So it's just a reminder of like, if Coors doesn't get home this evening, you can pull like 1,000 different levers to win this slate. So just be mindful of the combinations that exist when chasing Coors. Okay, cool. In terms of unabated totals that are going around, a lot of good hitting conditions that aren't on the slate today. Those the ones that stood out to me, this Athletics and Nationals one a little bit. This Phillies one with Baltimore seems like a really good one as well. Mets, just not a place we normally go to for hitting, but some of the righties against Logan Allen, low key popping, nothing crazy, but low key popping. Basically no Royals for me today against Garrett Crochet, just a stand that I'm willing to take today. I think Crochet is that good and I respect it that much. Yeah, if you want to do like one-off Bobby Witt, be my guest, but probably not for me today. Brewers and Braves, skinny stacks only for me, but you can mix and match. Cubs, I thought were my most underpriced relative to ADP stack earlier. You could get all of them for free, and the wind is slightly blowing out there. So I was kind of in on Cubs more than ADP was. Yeah, Reds, not in love with it, but if you want to do some of the right-handed skinny stacks, like, one-off Spencer Steer or one-off Tyler Stevenson, who homered yesterday, those guys are lefty killers that you can get a little bit of double bubble leverage with. So go for it. Rangers, kind of just underrepresented outside of Seager, but this has all the makings to be a very similar environment to yesterday, where it's just like, it's just a very, very similar environment to yesterday, where this game could just be like 5-3 or 5-4, or going to Globe Life Field for offense right now feels tragic. Sorry, give me a sec. Yeah, now Rockies and Blue Jays. Rockies are underrepresented relative to ADP. Mickey Moniak has been hotter than hell in recent memory. He cooled off like a little bit, but he just feels like a little bit underrepresented as a left-handed bat in this game environment. If I was chasing a potential favorite on the Rockies side, Warming has been warming up in a big way. Homered on that slate where we played a little bit of him on last Friday. So yeah, I'd be mixing and matching Rockies. Blue Jays lineup last night did not include Ty France and included the return of Alejandro Kirk. So just be mindful of those two things. Bo Bichette was actually the DH last night, so that allowed Ernie Clement into the lineup and to play shortstop. I imagine, I don't know what's going to happen tonight, but I imagine you can't take Ernie Clement out of the lineup after he had 5 hits last night. He had 5 or 6 hits last night. Bo Bichette had the massive night. Dalton Varsho homered his first one back, her first one since returning from the All-Star break. So those 3 are probably just like in my lineup for sure. Yeah, but Ty France has like kind of a cheeky scroll the F down. Maybe this is easier to illustrate with their stuff up here. I think Vlad's very safe. I think Bo Bichette's very safe. I think Addison Barger's very safe. I think Alejandro Kirk's back in there today. Ernie Clement, I don't think you can take him out because of how he played yesterday, which means Schneider might be the odd man out today because Ernie Clement could play second base. Bo Bichette plays third. Kirk catches, or Bo Bichette plays shortstop. Sorry. Kirk catches. Vlad is either DH or first base, and then Ty France is the other DH/first base. So some push-pull today is going to happen between Schneider, Lucas, Loperfido, and Ty France is my estimation, because I think Ernie Clement earned another day in the lineup after he put up like 31 fantasy points yesterday, right? So I have these 5 in the lineup. I have Varsho in the lineup. I have Lucas leading off, and then it's kind of flip a coin between the next grouping here. So that's where I'm at with it. I guess we could take a look at some other resources and see what they have. We could take a look at Roto Grinders here. They have Lucas, Bo Bichette, Vlad, Barger, Kirk, Varsho, France, Loperfido, and then Ernie Clement. So they are removing, who is that that's missing out then? Varsho? They have Varsho in there? No, they have Varsho in there. Oh, they have Schneider out. Okay, yeah. So they see it similarly to me. Yeah, David Schneider potentially as the odd man out there. Yeah. So just things to think through there in terms of handedness, and just because this is a chalk lineup that's going to get a lot of attention. Yeah. Okay, back to the platform there. Get that stuff out of the way there. But Toronto is chalk for a reason. Yeah. Rays and Angels. We have a scroll the F down pitcher that we could potentially get to in that game in Jose Soriano. He has moved up now to SB7 on the slate. I am seeing he has had 3 nice starts in a row. We have no idea what version of him we are going to get, but a lot of those nice starts in recent memory have come at home. So that's nice to see there. But yeah, the Rays have some good left-handed power that can get it. So it's kind of a stars and scrub pitchers slate for me. I really like the top 2. Then I think there's like another tier of 3. And then you can kind of play whack-a-mole with this game, or you can scroll all the way the F down to play Will Warren or Yu Darvish. That's how I'm treating it right now. But we'll rank it out in a half second. That was just kind of macro thoughts. Angels are a little bit expensive for going up against Pepio. Obviously a decent place to hit, and it's been okay in terms of home runs, but a little expensive for my liking. Cardinals, I just vaulted like 3 games. My mind went completely blank there. Padres and D-backs. This Padres lineup looks way better since the trade deadline there with O'Hearn and Ramon Laureano and that sort of deal in there. They get Ryan Nelson, and you could definitely get some powerful lefties in this. Even Freddie Fermin's upgrade over what they had. So don't sleep on the Padres. Traditionally speaking, not a great place to play left-handed power, but I'm happy doing Padres stacks today. D-backs getting Yu Darvish. Yu Darvish has looked really nice the last couple of days. But Tyler Locklear, who is never wrong, just early, guys, homered for the first time as a D-back last night. So that's kind of fine to get to. If you want to play the Corbin Carroll and Marte, obviously easy to get to. And then my scroll the F down on that team would be Locklear just for the power upside. I won't play any White Sox today. Just a huge park downgrade. Brian Wu has been a model of consistency, going 6 innings, damn near every single time out. Professional ass right-handed pitcher there. I do like getting to the White Sox in recent memory because people are thinking of them as the poo-poo team that they were at the start of the year. They are not that any longer. I do think they've been quite solid since the All-Star break, and they do have some good power. Even like the rookies in Colson Montgomery and Kyle Teal are guys I like to get to, but I don't want to get to them in this park against Brian Wu. So as much as it pains me to say, Luis Robert Jr., I need you in Dinger season. I will not play you in the dailies today. Bittersweet for the Dodgers and Cardinals here that this should have been Shohei Ohtani's turn in the rotation there. They're just going to go with Emmett Sheehan, who had been piggybacking off Ohtani, but Ohtani got pulled from last time's start, so won't be going tonight. Dodgers look like underpriced, good chalk against Miles Michaelis. Miles Michaelis just can't strike anybody out anymore, just not missing a ton of bats. So definitely want to get to them in a park that plays very well for homers. But yeah, Dodgers, obviously I'm not, breaking the mold for anybody to be like, hey, play Dodgers. That seems good. They've, in a vacuum, they've underperformed in a decent way this year. But yeah, I'm happy getting them tonight. And then the Cardinals, I just basically never play them. They're all infield only eligible. It's an okay spot to play like a skinny stack. Like if you want to play like Donovan plus, if you want to play like Donovan plus someone, if you want to do Donovan plus Burleson or Donovan plus Wilson Contreras, by all means, but just not a spot I'm jumping up and down to get to. So obviously Coors Chalk looks really good with the Blue Jays. Rockies are a little bit underpriced. Yankees are mispriced because of Aaron Judge and Nathan Eovaldi. But that being said, I'm not looking to stack against Eovaldi, so it's primarily just Judge with one-offs, that sort of thing. Misrepresented as of right now in total ownership. Cubs are kind of like my favorite mispriced non-Coors stack. Let's call it that. Red Sox feel fine and a little bit underrepresented. Angels feel a little overrepresented. But if you want to get to it, by all means. Padres feel like another good misrepresented relative to ADP stack. Diamondbacks are skinny stacks only now because that lineup is considerably worse since the trade deadline. Yeah. Mets and Guardians, probably just like occasional Mets righties. Lindor obviously pops against lefties. Logan Allen hasn't been striking anybody out, but it's going to be one-offs and two-mans for me there. Not a ton of stacking. That's kind of the macro, guys. I will go with the pitchers in a second here. Tate's asking, what's the optimal number of hitters to stack? Is it 4 or 3 better? Kind of an evergreen question and very slate dependent and very team total dependent. If you just asked me like on Redacted back in the day, I'd be like, oh, you just can't go wrong with like playing some iteration of 5-mans mixed in, but it's very team total dependent. It's very spot dependent. It's very ADP conscious. I will say that I don't want to play one-offs at Coors, like just as a general rule of thumb on our site, when the chalk is so heavy to Coors and Coors being so tethered to scoring multiple runs to break slates, I do not want to play one-offs. Like if you're threading such a thin needle to be like Blue Jays win 6-1 tonight and Vlad hits 2 home runs. Is it possible? Absolutely. But he's probably dragging someone along at that point with it, or the whole entirety of the stack is getting home in some shape or form, right? So, yeah, there's no clear-cut answer for this, but I would say my advice for this specific slate is if you're playing Coors, you're at least playing 2s and 3s. Mike, speaking of threading a tight needle, can we get a double dribble draft in today? If we hadn't already done the football show, I would oblige, but having already done one full show and knowing that I have to do some other stuff after this, plus draft some myself, not today, my friend. We will get double dribble and best puck classic for all the sickos in due time here, I promise. But we did one last week there, if you guys missed that one. Okay. Let's jump over to the Ballpark Pal just for implied totals, just to give another vantage at the slate here. We looked at the unabated game totals there, but as you guys can see, how much this Coors one stands out in a big way on this slate. This 6 for Toronto here. Nice to see that they're giving a little love to the Padres, as I was alluding to, liking Padres and liking Dodgers chalk when they're, cheaper right now. Wish this Cubs number was a little bit higher there, like this Rockies number relative to ADP at the 488 there. But yeah, Mets and Guardians, not in love with either of those spots today. But if you want to play like some one-off righties, maybe that's something we look at in the pick'em lobby for some home run upside. Yeah, Clay Holmes come down to earth a little bit there. There was someone else who just got called up. He's not in our player pool for the Guardians. Their top prospect just got called up. CJ Kflus, is that the name? I believe it's CJ Kflus. He's their number 1 prospect in the organization, and he just got called up. So he's not in the player pool today, but he's definitely, let me see here. Let me just confirm. 4th ranked prospect. Finally promote top prospect. Yeah, top prospect. Okay. So, just wanted to share. Just strengthens the lineup a little bit, but we can't play him on our site is kind of what I wanted to get at. Okay. That's about all I got, guys. A lot of spots with like one-offs and 2-mans. If Coors doesn't get home today, I don't think I want like a full 5-man onslaught from like another game environment. I mean, famous last words, but like, 4+1s or 3+2s or 3+1-1s, just given the implied totals across the board there, feel more palatable. But I think the spots that nobody's getting to right now, the scroll the F down San Diego bats, the scroll the F down Rockies bats, those are kind of the ones that are popping out. I like Cubs more than the models do. Some stuff like that. Okay. Is there similar sites to Ballpark Pal for football? Yeah, we'll get into it when we do the daily football stuff, and I'll walk you guys through all of that. But yeah, there's similar stuff out there. Absolutely. Hey, whoa. Ager's saying I've only done 30. Let the record state, the Badge Bros Brawl, I have done a lot. I have done a lot. Don't worry, buddy. Don't worry. Even though we are not behind the paywall, actually, let me do my own rankings first, and then we will look at Cardi. I will rank out the pitchers here. I really like Garrett Crochet today. I really like Brian Wu. I believe it or not, I think Wu might be low-key the safer of the two, just given the ballpark, given the lineup that he's facing. I would definitely take the ceiling of Crochet ahead of Wu, on this slate. It's also not, crazy hot in Boston. It's only 71 degrees. Obviously, the ball flies for righties there against a lefty, but you got to make contact first. So Crochet's my SP1. Brian Woo's my SP2. Nathan Eovaldi has been incredible since coming back from the IL and getting fully stretched out. He's given up 2 earned runs in his last 5 starts, double digits every day, every time out. All he does is win. I mean, he would low-key be in the AL Cy Young mix if he didn't miss a lot. So these 3 are kind of appropriately priced. They're my 3 favorite of the bunch. I like it. Judge coming back does kind of like knock Eovaldi down ever so slightly and all those power lefties. I do think the Freddie Peralta matchup is probably better given the watered down version of Atlanta we're going to get today. But that Milwaukee bullpen behind him isn't as good as it has been so in years past. So I'm a little skittish on like the win quality start equity, like just in general. But I think it is kind of like a tier of 3 and then a new tier starting a tier of 2 with Shota, even though the wind is blowing out there. But yeah, man, the Reds have been just disappointing across the board in terms of their ability to hit for power. They do have some powerful righties in their lineup there that could get to Shota, and Shota's kind of boomer bust. But I'm happy playing Shota just given how flat the pitching tier is after. So I think it's these 5, and then we start to scroll. I think Pepio's fine. I think Jose Soriano's fine. You can rank them as you see fit, but I think they're both fine. Jose Barrios, I just don't think there's any reason to play pitching at Coors, but it's obviously a great strikeout matchup. Yu Darvish is a little bit slept on. He's been very strong in his most recent outing there against the Mets. He also gets a watered down version of the Arizona lineup after they traded away everybody. So as long as he doesn't get knocked around by Marte and Carroll at the top of that order, and I guess we got to put a little respect on Perdomo's name there too. If he gets by them, man, he's got strikeouts for days at the bottom half of that lineup. So I'm fine playing Yu Darvish, and then my super scroll would be Will Warren. Just a decent park to pitch in, a decent strikeout rate to chase. Will Warren has the third highest strikeout rate on the slate. It is higher than Freddie Peralta. He's going up against a lineup that has left a lot to be desired this season. The Yankees bullpen, even though it's imploded over the weekend and last night in particular, it should be one of the strongest in baseball. So, holding on to win and quality start equity is nice if he's able to get out of there with a lead with the bullpen behind him. Yeah, 26.2% on the strikeout rate there. What do we talk about in the chat here? Woo's scary. Consistent but not dominant. White Sox have been hot. Yeah, agreed. I mean, like, it's not the comfiest click in the world, but he's going to project amazing. It's the best place in baseball for strikeouts. It's the best place in baseball for limiting hard hit, despite what Cal Raleigh's been able to do and what that Seattle offense has been able to do. I'm just gonna trust that. I know the White Sox have been considerably better since the All-Star break, and it could go wrong. But he's a model of consistency, and if no pitcher breaks the slate, I'll take that like 10-point floor. Yeah, that's kind of the gist of it for me. That was all my favorite stacks, all the stacks relative to ADP. We could take a look at Cardi, even though we're not behind the paywall. Permission to do so every now and then. He's got it. Woo, Crochet. Logan Webb's not on our slate. Mackenzie Gore's not on our slate. He likes Shota and Nathan Eovaldi kind of equally. Then a little bit of a tier break to Peralta, Soriano, Pepio. He likes Will Warren like I do, boosting him because of the strikeout rate a little bit. Doesn't like Yu Darvish as much as I do. I think Clay Holmes is actually a fine scroll the F down, despite him not being great in recent memory. Maybe just the being converted from a reliever. He's dying off a little bit at the tail end of the season. It's just anecdotal, but kind of eerily similar to like Jordan Hicks last year. But yeah. Take a look at his favorite hitters. I imagine it's all Coors Field and Ohtani. Coors Field, Coors Field, Coors Field, Coors Field, Coors Field, Coors Field, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, his favorite stacks mirror that of what the implied run totals do. So we're gonna have to find some creative paths this evening, and we're gonna rip some drafts here. Let me hop in. Probably rip 2 drafts and then a couple pick'ems, and then call it a show, seeing as though we already did an hour and a half of football content as well. Your boy needs some food. Leftover tacos in the fridge are calling my name right now. All right, we got the Saw Dog in here. We got Respooked in here. We got Andrew in here. If you are King Dubs, say what up. I know King Dubs in the chat, but I don't know your real name right now. But I know I've seen you. I've seen you. Oh. Wu gives up a home run every 4.7 innings pitched in the last 10 outings. Interesting. Interesting. Michaelis and Molina, the only 2 worst today. Interesting stat. Interesting little nugget there. Small sample, 10 outings. Don't know who those 10 outings were against. Don't know which ballparks those 10 outings were in. Yeah, at Athletics is not good. At Angels is not good for home runs. Versus Houston with the Crawford boxes, not great for home runs. Yankees, not great for home runs. So this is starting to add up. This is starting to add up, man. Jets, I like your stat, but this is starting to add up. Pittsburgh, obviously an amazing place to pitch, and the number 1 best place to pitch in terms of opposing team home runs and bad team, and he cooked in that start. So yeah, definitely a start-by-start basis kind of thing. As you guys can see, we get a bunch of Toronto stuff going. I like doing Addison and Varsho here, just taking some of that left-handed power. Yeah, see where we end up. Do a little Toronto skinny, as I alluded to earlier. As I alluded to earlier, I am a proponent of stacking Coors, not just playing one-offs at Coors. So if I'm going to do it, I like to do it of the stacking variety. So that's a nice little start. We can add a contrarian piece to it, like Alejandro Kirk or something like that, who's not getting drafted 100% of the time. And then we could do 2 one-off scrolls as well. Need an unabated pick'em before lock. I will take a look here. I will run some of the S words behind closed doors. Speaking of S words, I don't want to fully dox one of our friends of the show, but one of the friends of our show who is putting in some serious work in the Badge Bros Brawl is built out some amazing S words. Built out some amazing S words for the Badge Bros Brawl and some shocking developments. I'm not going to blow up their spot. I'm not going to dox what the findings are. But as soon as the Badge Bros Brawl closes, I'm going to discuss it thoroughly. Okay. Talking a little bit about that tier break at starting pitcher. I'm not overly concerned about the weather and getting a rain shortened start for Freddie. So let's do Freddie. I think there's a non-zero chance Davis Schneider's not in the lineup today, and it comes at the expense of somebody else. It could be him or Joey Lopafito. I give the slight edge to the handedness advantage, but I really like Fernando Tatis Jr. today. If I had to pinpoint like my number 1 most mispriced hitters relative to ADP today, it's Cal Raleigh and Fernando Tatis Jr. A lot of different chalk is getting thrust over them, but yeah. It is not Pete who is running the S words. It is not Pete. But yes, these S words I found very, very impressive, and some of their findings are shocking. But it makes sense. This is what I'll say. The strategy associated with this iteration of the S words mirrors more closely to Nez's original takes than my original takes. I was very like, we can do 3-6-6-3, take 12 at the flex position, and then scroll the F down at the onesies. Yeah, the S words don't like that. The S words like something different. Ho-Hibs, you've been hanging out here long enough to know what the S words. The S words are reference to anything simulation based. They're a dirty word. It's a dirty word to run the Sims around here. You know? I don't know. It's just a tongue-in-cheek joke that we've ran with for years, such as the GM. Saw a tweet that said Tatis has 4 home runs since the end of May. Holy shit. Holy shit, that's bad. Manny Machado and Jackson Morrell went. That's unfortunate. Sawdog building out a contrarian version of what we were going to attempt to do. I think this lineup could very easily just be like Alejandro Kirk to fit in with the Toronto stack. Maybe Ty France if we want more contrarian leverage than Alejandro Kirk. So maybe we could do that. We do Ty France as like a scroll the F down. And then we could do like a one-off Mickey Moniak, who I kind of like from the left side today. Or we could do a one-off Kyle Tucker's fine by me with the wind blowing out. You know, one of the best hitters in baseball. Yeah, Mickey Moniak staring me in the face here. Or we could do a scroll the F down San Diego piece. Let's do the Padres angle. I said I liked it. Let's take Ryan O'Hearn as just an underpriced lefty. Right-handed power plays better in Arizona than left-handed power, and that has held true this season. That being said, he gets the handedness advantage this evening there. So let's go ahead and take Ryan O'Hearn as a pick to click off Ryan Nelson. Jet's asking where I'm seeing Wrigley wind blowing out. Everywhere. I'm seeing it on models almost everywhere. I saw it 5 to 8 blowing out. Looking at roto grinders now, there is a arrow blowing in. Northeast. Yeah, maybe it's shifted now, but that ballpark, you know, the wind shifts all over the place. In that I saw blowing out earlier this morning in some of my own research. Maybe that's not holding true right now. Is it just draft good players in the Bad Rose Brawl? Kind of. The consigliere says sweating a Brandon fought under on 6 innings pitched for the pick'em last night. Truly a highlight of the MLB season. That is truly, truly sick. MLB weather says blowing in at 10 miles per hour, so that's kind of gross. Ross said blowing in. Okay. All right. What's Ballpark Pal got in terms of park factor? Let's take a look here. Oh my God. Just randomly get logged out from Dub Club again. Dub Club. I'm out on you guys. What are we doing? Over and over and over again. Every device. Okay, Coors getting a nice bump for runs, home runs, everything across the board there. Wrigley Field with a downgrade. Okay. All right, you guys are right. I saw wind out earlier. Things have changed. Yeah, Dub Club's so annoying with that. Yeah. Okay. Wind's blowing in now. Hopefully it reverts itself from my previous exposures of Cubs scroll the F down stacks. We finished that one. Freddie Peralta, Addison Barger, Ty France, Ryan O'Hearn, Dalton Varsho, and Fernando Tatis Jr. If we had to estimate the draft percentages, I think Freddie Peralta will be 100 today. I think Addison Barger will be 100. I think Ty France will be 43. Nah, 38, 43, which is low for a guy at Coors if he's in the lineup. I think he will be in the lineup after the off day yesterday and the pitch hit appearance. Ryan O'Hearn, I estimate he will probably be south of 20% owned. maybe like in the 15 to 12 to 15%. Varsho will be 100, and Fernando Tatis Jr. will be 96, 97%. Evan's asking, is Ohtani the 101 today, or is it Crochet, or is it Coors? For me, it is Coors, but I will never fight you if you like Ohtani more. I like mixing and matching Vlad and Bo Bichette, and then kind of just doing a late cheap skinny stack with it. But I will never fault anyone for playing Ohtani. If I was playing an entire portfolio of 150, I would just take Ohtani at 1 and then adjust as I see fit. So it was a little more balanced, because I do like the Dodgers stack as well. And, implied run totals, just because the Blue Jays scored 15 runs last night, they're only projecting for like 6 tonight, right? Like, and now could they do it again against a shitty starter with a really shitty bullpen in really good conditions? Absolutely. But this is baseball, Susan, and anything is possible, right? So you want to have exposures to Ohtani in a really good spot as well. I'm going to rip one more of those drafts, and then we will go home run hunting in the Pick'em lobby. Slates like this, guys, I will also say the power of contrarian leverage in small field. If you were playing the big fly today, for instance, and there's only like 20 something entries in that or whatever, just onslaughting a team that's not drafted is like a pretty good strategy. It is extremely polarizing in terms of the results in which you will achieve with a strategy like that. But in a vacuum, it's a pretty good strategy on the small slate stuff to just roll in. And Toronto stack without Vlad could get home. Absolutely. Like 1000% he could get home. Who would you run with Cal in a Seattle skinny? That Mavis is asking. My favorite's Julio. If you want to do it with Rosarena, I get it. If you want to do it with Jorge Polanco, because Jorge Polanco is just much better in terms of power hitting from the left side, I could see that as well. I stay away from the accumulator types with low power and low ISO, like the JP Crawfords and like that sort of thing. So yeah. Oh, Jets, what did Adam Frazier end up getting on Friday's slate? Let's see. It's probably not there anymore. 16 fantasy points? Yeah. Still not playing him. Let's take Bo Bichette here. Let's just keep taking a little bit of the Coors chalk. Touching tribute to his father. Yeah, take Gino as well. Eugenio Suarez. That's a good contrarian stacking partner. I'm so sick to my stomach that the Gino stuff is just going to age so poorly. Like the bro science part of my brain is kind of like, you fuck up at something in this world, and then you like come crawling back and you're like, I made a mistake. Like that kind of thing. And then you kind of make good on it by circling back, and then it blows up in your face again. Like my dunce cap brain is like, oh gosh. That's unfortunate that all Toronto pieces go before it comes back to me. Let's do the Cal Raleigh thing and do a contrarian stack alongside him. Maybe leave a spot for Gino Suarez in this one. Maybe do something of like the 2-1-1 variety in this draft. I do think if we want another Blue Jays piece in our life, though, it probably has to be our next pick. George Springer started a rehab assignment. He has the out tag on our site. He won't be back this evening, I don't believe. But just be mindful at some point this week. George Springer's working his way back from the concussion. He was cleared for a rehab game. He's with AAA on Wednesday. So just be mindful that in the next couple days, George Springer's probably coming back. 2-1-1 sounds like top 2 win it. Yeah, right. Contrarian White Sox. Yeah, I mean, if you want to play Contrarian White Sox for the sake of Contrarian and them being hot, why not? Ernie Clement goes there. Kind of unfortunate for us. I'm going to scroll down to Joey Lopefito, leave myself an infield spot. I do think there's a non-zero chance that he's not in the lineup today. We went through that all about 5 minutes ago or 15 minutes ago now. But I would keep him in for the handedness, and Davis Schneider would be the odd man out today. But I have no idea. I have no idea what they're going to actually do. I guess we could cross-reference another resource and just see what Roster Resource has to say in terms of Toronto today. Roster Resource has it: Lucas, Bo Bichette, Vlad, Addison, Kirk, Varsho, Clement, Lopefito, and then Davis Schneider at the bottom. So they have Ty France not starting, in consecutive days. So maybe. I don't think you trade for France to not play him back-to-back days at Coors, even if it is a handedness thing. I think Roster Resource, that's kind of like their best guess on a nightly basis. But given the context of him not starting yesterday, makes me a little bit more bullish that Ty France will be in there. We're back up here. Fucking car park ruining my life by taking Aaron Judge. That was going to be part of our plan. I guess we could just take Eugenio Suarez right here. I like that shout from Brett Boy in the chat as a contrarian stacking partner with Cal Raleigh. And my one-off was going to be Aaron Judge. My other outfield one-off was going to be Aaron Judge. But we can add in either a Seattle bat or a different contrarian one-off. Yeah, even if you're playing contrarian White Sox Jets, I wouldn't be onslaught stacking them. Like, Seattle at home is just like not a team that gets blown up, and the likelihood of them getting blown up is not great. And the White Sox have the lowest implied team total on the slate. There goes Mickey Moniak, who was going to be my other scroll. Let's take Julio and just stack it up, I guess. I'm not in love with any of these other, like, just one-offs. We don't have to take pitcher yet because the two guys to our right have already taken starting pitcher. So we'll have an opportunity to scroll. Somewhat of a chalky team with the exception of Eugenio Suarez at the scroll down. So I'm going to go ahead and, Michael Nelson, baby. I'm going to go ahead and scroll down at starting pitcher this one. I'm going to buy into the strikeout rate that is Will Warren. And I'm just going to say, Texas is low-key been ass. And that's a good place to pitch. And they need some length out of their starter today after their bullpen's been knocked around. So let's go with Will Warren as I scroll the F down. Here, Emwald saying that he likes the 2-3-4 for the Mets with an elite pitcher. That feels fine. I mean, I just don't love going there for offense in general. I don't like that it's lefty-lefty for Soto. But Logan Allen has a tough time striking people out. Pitch asking, what do you think Judge's drafted percentage will be tonight? I think if we get a swap for one of these Toronto pieces that's just like not in the lineup today, and he gets swapped into like a lot of lineups, um, he could probably end up at like 91%, 92%, but he wasn't being drafted last night. So it's still like a discount on Judge. Gun to my head, 89% drafted Aaron Judge. Hang up and take the calls tomorrow and see how close we got. But gun to my head would be 89, I think. There you go. That's the second one there. Scroll the F down to Will Warren, who has the third highest strikeout rate on the slate with a half decent matchup. I'm not going to call it a great matchup by any stretch, but a good place to pitch as of this year. Bo Bichette, who's scorching hot. Cal Raleigh, who's pushing for MVP in the AL. Eugenio Suarez, who is top 5 in all of baseball in home runs. Joey Lipofito, who we hope is in the lineup today. I believe he'll be in instead of Davis Schneider, but not a given. And then Julio Rodriguez instead of Randy Arozarena, just for a little bit of a discount in ownership. But Eugenio Suarez doing the heavy lifting in this lineup in terms of getting it contrarian. Not bad. Okay team. Not what I fully envisioned once we started drafting that one. But you got to adapt on the fly, right? All right, let's take a look at some of the home runs, and I will take a look at some of the unabated stuff. Jump on over to Unabated in terms of the edge creation. Let me see here. I will take a look at the stats. I will take a look at home runs in particular. J.Y. Jones getting some love here. I mean, he must have a really nice price tag, and it must be righty-lefty. He's not on our slate, so I didn't look at it. The Twins are starting. No, they're starting Zebby Matthews. Yeah, I don't even know that Jones is going to start today. Is that lineup out yet? Let's see. Jones is hitting 8th against Zebby Matthews. Righty. Okay. Here's one of the spots that I was looking at was Alvarez. So getting my priors confirmed with some of those righties that are low-key lefty killers for the Mets who are going to be underpriced is actually one that I was going to naturally go to. So that's kind of one that I want to double down on. Alvarez has been popping decently at a pretty good clip for the Bat X in terms of these. So take it with a grain of salt. But I like Lindor. I like Vientos. I like Alvarez today, all as like home run picks. Let's see what their price tags are. We will take a look at the New York Mets. Alonso's not a great price. Soto's not a great price. Lindor's okay at that 242. Nimmo, I want no part of, let alone lefty. Kyle Manzardo at 4X is pretty good. I do agree with that one. Vientos at 3X feels good. Alvarez at 368 feels good. Let's take a look at the lineup. Make sure if there is one yet that Alvarez is in there. He's in there and hitting 8th. Sorry. It's okay. Starling Marte is leading off. That could be cheeky. Starling Marte is way better against lefties. Let's see if we get a Mets one here for Marte. Taylor, no Marte in the pick'em lobbies yet. Keep your guys' eye open for that. If you get like a 4-point something on Marte, I'd be kind of in on it. Leading off, probably not coming out of the ball game unless they bring in like Cedric Mullins in a close game later. A little bit more pinch hit risk in his life, but Mullins would probably come in for Tyrone Taylor instead of Marte. So, man, Marte would be a nice price tag if we can get that. Unfortunately, don't have that in the lobby right now. So let's just play the Manzardo and Alvarez one because it gets the unabated stamp of approval. I mean, taking a guy who's hitting 8th never feels great, but the price tag kind of warrants it. Gets a handedness advantage, has some pop. Put that one in the chat for everybody. Vientos at 3 feels okay. Blake Perkins, like I low key. Okay, you guys want like the just vibes one? Let's go with rookie of the month, Isaac Collins. I also low key like the Perkins price tag. But let's go rookie of the month, Isaac Collins. And then let's see if we can get this Locklear home in back-to-back days. Wow, this is bad to play together because they're so extreme. We're getting capped at 100x here. That's a new. We used to get capped at 150. Interesting. This is fun. I mean, it's bad value to overplay. So maybe we wait and use it for somebody else. Take a look at the ballpark, pal, as well. Oh, here you go. Unabated is showing a nice positive one for the Blake Perkins one too. Okay. I'm not going to touch that John Rave one. John Rave's not even going to be in there, is he? Oh, he's batting 9th. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not taking lefty against Garrett Crochet. Like, if you're going to go to the Royals, I would probably do like Randall Grichuk, Nick Lofton, Luke Maley, something like that before I did lefty 9-hole hitter John Rave. So not in love with that one. Okay, let's go back to the thesis and play it slightly differently. Sorry, I lost my spot now. Okay. What does Perkins coupled with Lindor get us? Okay. Seems like an intelligent way to play that one. Oh, now we got to run it again for $2 to get a link. Duplicate entry. Oh my goodness. Okay, guys, just do this. I'm not going to do it again and then find the link or whatever. Perkins and Lindor as one. Feels okay. Feels okay. Let's take a look at the ballpark, pal, and see where else is popping. They do like Angel Stadium for home runs today. So there's that. Let's take a little look at their home run zone. Freeman, Tyler O'Neill, Westberg, not on our slate. Michael Nelson, Trout, Logan O'Hoppe, Zach Neto. Could do the Joe Adell again. Eugenio Suarez, Cal Raleigh. Take a look at the Mariners and see if we got any good price tags. Naylor getting a 4 with the handedness advantage. Not crazy. Colson Montgomery getting a 4.16. Not crazy. Sosa's been nice with it recently, but I prefer him against lefties. Kyle Teal getting a 5.33. He's got some pop. Do we have an O'Hearn one? I liked O'Hearn. There we go. O'Hearn at that 4.29. That feels decent. What happens if you put it with Locklear? Okay. Let's do it. Let's play that game or play that game with the lefties. Ryan O'Hearn, Tyler Locklear. Locklear was killing it in the minors with the home run stuff. He's got like legit light tower power. I like it. Emwald asking, does this make me like the Mets a little bit more? Yeah, I mean, like I wasn't out on the Mets because, Logan Allen doesn't miss bats. But like, they're always going to profile decent in terms of power. I just like it only as skinny stacks or one-offs though. Like I just don't love an onslaught. But I don't know. There's a lot more ways that sentence could go wrong than it could go right? So there's that. Nolan Gorman, 251. There's a cheeky scroll the F down if you want to do a skinny stack against Emmett Sheehan. Yeah, there's a couple moon shooters, guys. I think that's all I kind of like right now. Cole Young, man. It's kind of crazy that you can get a dude who has a 7.35x to homer who hit a home run 470 feet on Friday night. Thursday night, Friday night. Like, he's one of the better prospects in their organization. He's not a huge power guy. He's a lefty, at least. But like, it's just low-key fucking crazy. Like 7.35x is like the number you get on Luis Arias, who hits like wall scrapers, or a guy like Jacob Wilson, who hits wall scrapers. Like Cole Young hit a home run 470 feet in a game, and he's getting a 7.35. I know it's a bad park, but he did it in said park. We got to play that. I don't know, man. That price just looks flat wrong to me. Like it's not that bad a spot tonight against Davis Martin. Let's do a little deep dive on Davis Martin. You guys sent me down the rabbit hole. Let's do a little deep dive on Davis Martin right quick, and then we will call it a show. Davis Martin, only a 30% hard hit, 49% fly ball though. Home run to fly ball is like 12.6. Is he getting whiffs? Maybe Davis Martin isn't the best matchup in the world. He doesn't strike anybody out, though. 16.6%. People hitting like 40% fly balls off him. I think this is just like a trust your heart one. Paid saying that the Athletics and Washington multis for doubles look like sneaky values today. Okay. Rooker's getting a 2.6x. See where Rooker's at. $2.6x for Brent Rooker to double today. Okay. I mean, it's harder when it's like an exact outcome. Obviously, everyone's aware of that. Okay. Let's see what we got in the Nationals then. We're still going to play that Cole Young one, though. Who's the other one that you like? Uh-oh. The chat's going nuts right now. The Sharkus is just rolling in. So we officially got Addison 3 games. Seems exactly what people were thinking. Seems like they were wish casting too. It's substance abuse. Is that? Yeah. So he pleaded wet whatever. Wet. I can't remember what the term was. Google it. But he pleaded wet whatever, which means he basically admitted. He basically just admitted that he was like, yeah, wet reckless. Thank you. He basically admitted that, like, yeah, I was boozing and then I drove, but I didn't get a full DUI, manslaughter, whatever, kind of like down that rabbit hole. I don't know, not a lawyer. But by saying that he was wet reckless, he implied that he was abusing a substance, which means it falls under the substance abuse, I guess. It's like a lessening of DUI. Yes, there you go. Yeah. George Niang to the Jazz for 2 seconds. Celtics are giving up this year. That makes Tatum an even worse pick, right? They're full tank mode. There's no way they bring him back unnecessarily. Okay, let's finish this off now. We got derailed a little bit there by the doubles and getting derailed a little bit. Severino's on the hill. Let's do Luis Garcia on the other side of this as the double price tag. You do a home run price tag as well. Let's do the home run price tag off Luis Severino and put it with a Brent Rooker double. Fun little one for that game. And then let's do the Cole Young. I want this Cole Young one in my life, guys. We can probably pair it with like someone who's like the most likely to homer on the slate. Like, you know, Schwarber's not on our slate, but he's probably getting like a 1.4x or something. Yeah, he's getting a 1.34. We got to pair this Cole Young with like Coors Field or something. Let's see what the Blue Jays are at. Where's my guy, Addison Barger? He's getting a 181. Can't do it. Where's Mickey Moniak at? Guys naming dudes. Mickey Moniak's only getting a 214. Wow. All right, let's just take Vlad at the 241. Not a terrible price for a guy at Coors. Bo Bichette's been the hotter of the two. Let's put Vlad with Cole Young. I just think that Cole Young price tag is wrong, guys. I don't think it's like a slam it, jam it in spot. I just think the price tag's wrong for a dude who can hit the ball almost 500 damn feet in a game. Like, seems crazy. I will take a look just for my WNBA sickos real quick. There is one game this evening. There's 2 games this evening. There is, hold on one second, 3, 4, 5 games this evening in the WNBA. Unabated's going to have their projections up for that. Take a little look-sees here in terms of the WNBA stuff. Nothing crazy popping. Camila Cardoso as a slight lower but very thin edge. Natasha Cloud, slight higher edge. Kayla McBride, slight higher rebound edge, but the projection doesn't mirror that of the Underdog one, so that's might just be a mistake. Yeah, nothing really worth playing right now. If that changes in the near future, I'll get you guys a WNBA. Pick them in there. All right, that's it, guys. Fun show. Couple drafts in there. I got some real life stuff to do. 3 straight hours of me talking. Nobody needs any more. That's plenty. That's plenty. Back tomorrow, 1 hour early with Hayden Winks. Gonna draft a BBM with him. Gonna chat everything and anything. We haven't caught up in a long time. Miss hanging out with that guy. Huge beauty at the Dog Bulls. But we'll get acquainted tomorrow. He just dropped his video on his channel with Josh there talking about his favorite pick by every single round. and I was shocked how many of them overlap with my exposures. So kind of fun. Yeah, we'll be out tomorrow doing some football, and then I will run it back with the baseball. Florida Membies only, very similar style to today, but tomorrow with Hayden instead of with Pete. 1 hour early, 1 p.m. Eastern is the start time for that one, which means the baseball for the members only will be about 2:30 p.m. Eastern. All right, guys, best of luck to your Dinger Sweats. Best of luck in the Underdog Pick'em lobbies, and best of luck in the Underdog 10-game MLB slate this evening. Hopefully, never Coors, baby. Never Coors. We got to play Coors tonight. I don't know, man. It's crazy. All right. Everybody's favorite Tyler show. The end. Peace.